how's it going? So today I have a sort of mid-year review. I realize it's not technically mid-year, but I know not enough is going to change, or probably nothing in the next 2 months. We started homeschooling August 1st, so I'm probably just going to title this video, mid-year review, because it kind of is that. So if you're interested in what I started off the year with, I'm going to link my 5th grade curriculum video. And most of the items I'm showing here, if you're interested in the links instead of writing it down, they will be in that video. Some might not be because some things I added in, but I normally link everything, but I'm not going to in this video because, it'll be like a lot of stuff. So you guys, just click on that video and like mostly everything will be linked, but I'm going to mention otherwise if I got something else. But okay, so the first thing is the schedule. So that definitely changed. So we started off the year only doing science 1 day a week and only doing history 1 day a week. This is the schedule we do. So first she does math. Now we also do math on Fridays now. So math, and then language arts. We don't do language arts on Fridays. We only do language arts Monday through Thursday. And then we do science now. We started off the year doing science 1 day a week, but now we do it 2 days a week. And that's Monday and Tuesday. And then also we do art Monday through Thursday. Actually, no, sorry. We do art. She does art Monday through Friday. And she always finishes the day with STEAM and reading. I'm going to show you guys STEAM also, and then I'm going to show you, and then reading is always 35 minutes. She times herself. I trust her. And she's usually in like our living room reading. And so also going to show you guys what she's currently reading as her independent read. It's what I call them. And also, so for Wednesday and Thursday, we do history and geography. And the only difference on Friday is she doesn't do language arts on Fridays, but in place of language arts, she works on her comic book, which I'll show you guys. It's like a year-long project. And then she still does reading. And then the only other thing she does extra on Fridays besides the comic book is emotional intelligence, and I'm going to go over that. Now, I did drop the mythology unit. So if you guys watched that beginning video, I did start off the year where she was doing mythology, but I just put the mythology books in her normal independent reading. I just put them in her options. So now she's still going to be reading the mythology books, but we stopped. We had an Evan Moore mythology workbook. I talked about that. If you want to watch this video about all my Evan Moore workbooks for 5th grade, most of them I didn't continue with, and the mythology one was one that I didn't continue. So I'm going to talk about everything now individually. Okay, so the first thing that my daughter does every single day is Saxon math, and it's Saxon 6-5. And the first thing you do is you do like a little warm-up. I highlight half of it, so she only has to do half because it just takes way too long in combination with the other things. It's like addition, multiplication, division, just preparing them for other things. It also has some like other activities and like investigations, but mainly it's practicing basic skills. So first thing she does is that. And then this is just the solution manual that gives you all the answers. And then it just came with this little multiplication table that she uses, so it's kind of messy, but she keeps that in here. And then basically she does the lessons on her own, and she just reads through them. I highlighted everything she had to do. In the beginning, I had her doing the warm-up, but we've evolved to removing the warm-up because I didn't really feel like it was that necessary because it's Saxon's. With 5th grade math, it takes a while. So now she doesn't do the warm-up anymore. And what she's doing is she reads through the new concept. So this is like let me start with one of the newer ones. Let's see. Okay. So she reads the new concept. She skips the warm-up. For 4th grade, we did everything. We did the warm-up. We did all of the practice questions. We didn't skip anything because, number one, I felt she was behind in math a little bit. We were doing Beast Academy, and I didn't feel like Beast Academy was meeting her style of learning. And I feel like we were a little bit behind with multiplication, with division, with different things. So I had her do everything for fourth grade. And then that's why fifth grade, I felt like I could ease up a little bit. And so, like I said, she skips the warm up. She reads the new concept on her own to herself. And then when she gets to the lesson practice, she does the whole thing because that's like the new section of what she just read. So she does all of that. And then for the mixed practice, I have her do either evens or odds randomly. So I just highlight it. I'll go ahead and highlight it ahead of her so she doesn't have to do that. And then, yeah. I also bought like a little graphing notebook to go with this. She doesn't even like to use it. Honestly, she mainly does the problems. I know at some point she's going to have to, but she mainly just, I'm sorry if you guys hear outside noise, some construction going outside my home. So they're cutting down trees and stuff. And also my husband is doing some home repairs. But yeah, so yeah, she mainly just kind of writes all the problems like on here. And I keep telling her, to use the little graphing book, but she doesn't feel like she needs it. And she gets most of the problems right. My husband's always also there to help her because he doesn't start work, he starts work a good bit after she starts homeschool because he works from home. So even when he's working throughout the day, he can help her if she needs. But she doesn't really ask him a lot of questions. And I am terrible in math. It's just the truth. And I had her tested. She took a CAT test, like, I don't know, I guess like either third or fourth grade. And she's tested above grade level for math. And she tested like way above. She tested like high school level for reading. But she tested like fifth grade level for math when we were like at the beginning of fourth grade, I believe. I forgot exactly, but we were behind in math and she still tested fifth grade level. So I don't feel like she needs a lot extra at this point of me intervening or my husband intervening. And for me, yeah. So I would say it's going really well. She's getting I had her start checking it herself because I feel like at this age, it's better for her to just check it herself. And that way she can see what she got wrong versus me checking it, making an X, and then saying, but I'm always watching. I'm in the same room and I'm there. So like if she was getting a lot of stuff wrong, I would like go over it, have my husband go over it with her. Or I would try to read through it. But she is doing pretty good. Like it's pretty self-explanatory. They give a lot of examples. It's not perfect, but it's by far the best that we've used. And we've used quite a few of math programs. So yeah, that is it for math. Okay, so after she does math, she's ready to start language arts. The first thing she does is this planner. And it's just like I wanted her to get used to using a planner. And in the planner, she puts a word from this book, a word of the day. And that's it. And she reads the definition out loud. And we love that. It's just like word recognition, vocabulary. And then the second thing she does is this My Year of Writing by Kane Miller. And it just has a cute little short writing prompt. It also sometimes has stuff she can draw, which she loves. And it's just like to get her imagination going. It's working really great. Also, if you want more in-depth, if you're new to my channel, this channel is primarily a book channel, but I also homeschool my daughter. Check out my individual subject videos and also check out my day in the life video because I go over more stuff in there. But this one, I'm just going to quickly show you guys what changes we made in the order and stuff. Okay, so this has changed a lot. This is like, I don't really call it art. I call it more, what do you call it? Informational drawing, or just like kind of like informational drawing. So we started off the year with a drawing book that was like how to draw modern flowers. I'm telling you, that book grew legs and walked out of my house. I cannot find that book to show you guys, but I did show it in the video I'm going to link. But it was a drawing book on how to draw flowers. So she finished it. It didn't have that many flowers in it. So once she finished it, I said, Just pick any book you want off of our bookshelf. So then she finished the flower book, and then she just went on our bookshelf and she picked a tree book, which I didn't pull it for this video, but it's just like a basic book about trees. And so she did that, where she just like reads a little bit about the tree, which that's why I call it like informational drawing or technical drawing. And then she draws from the picture versus her using her imagination like in art. So, because she's just like, she's still learning drawing skills, you know, but I included it in language arts because it's helping her dexterity, it's helping her hand-eye coordination, etc. It's kind of like a weird thing. You could put it in art, you could put it in, yeah. So I do it in language arts. It's kind of taking the place of Draw Right Now, if you guys are familiar with that. I loved Draw Right Now. It's pretty much like copy and write. Like copy the picture and write. I couldn't find anything as an equivalent to Draw Right Now. So this was like my version. So now she's using this. So now she's using Women in Science. And so she doesn't read like everything, but she reads a little bit about the person, because we actually have read this book. We've used this book before with science a little bit. We haven't read it cover to cover, but now she's just using it. She does like a 2-page spread, and she just looks at it, and then she draws, sorry, this is it. Like she drew Ada Lovelace, and she's like programmed the first computer. I don't really give her any guidelines other than, you know, whatever she kind of wants, because it's just like, but yeah. So it's just like for her to practice like a little bit of informational drawing. Okay, so next we do building writers, which learning without tears, which the main focus is narrative writing, information writing, and opinion argument writing. And I didn't actually like this curriculum when she was younger, because I felt like it was like a little too detailed for her personal learning level in writing skills. But now I think it matched up perfectly with 5th grade. And so she's doing a lot of like these story starters. And like she just did this one where this one I felt like was redundant. It had her focus on these 2 people, but then it had like some things I'll skip, and it continued about them, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and then like shared thoughts about them. I thought that was enough versus doing a whole nother introduction, introducing your readers to them. So some things, and like it also wants you to like remember more things about them. I felt like it was enough for her she even did more. She did computer research on these 2 people. So it has like different projects like that, kind of like mini projects, and how to do start stories and things like that. So I really like it. We don't do every single thing, but we do like 95% of it so far. And so we're about halfway through. Yeah, so I like it. Okay, so that's like her main like writing workbook. And then so now we're moving on to like handwriting. So she does Aesop's Fables. We didn't get to the Aesop's Fables yet, but now it's just still having her practice, you know, the letter formation. I think it does a pretty good job. Like, I think it's just like a basic, you know, like handwriting. And she's on S, like she's about to start R. And then it'll get to where you're copying like quotes. And then, so she's only halfway through. Once she finishes that, I'll have her start this, which is handwriting without tears, can do cursive. Because I figured we would run out of that one I just showed you guys before. So then she'll jump onto this one, but we haven't started yet. And then she does personal writing. It came in a kit, and I got this blank notebook. So in this blank notebook, I just write my own sentences and have her copy. And I also have her practice her name, you know, her address, what city we live in, things that she would normally use for like everyday writing that's not in those books. So yeah, so I find it helpful because it's the same style as the way handwriting without tears is. Actually, in the beginning it is, where you have like the 2 lines, the skinny lines, and then it goes into regular format, like a regular notebook. So now that she's finished with writing and handwriting I told you guys she's also working on a comic book that I consider part of her writing and language arts, but she does it on Fridays. So I'll show you guys that. And then this is Growing Without Grammar. This is her grammar. And she reads, the section to herself. It's a very short, 2 pages usually. And then she just goes on to do the matching lesson. And she does very well with this curriculum. I really like it. I'm happy with everything I showed you guys so far. Because if I'm not happy with something, I just remove it. And if you see stuff or remember things from that 5th grade curriculum video, but you don't see it here, it's because I didn't like it. But yeah, I just go with everything, or I just, do more minimal things if I don't like something. But yeah, so this is working out really good. It's very self-explanatory again. I also like how they'll say review, and they'll mention, previous sections in here, and you can go back. So she does that a lot. She goes back and reviews. It's very well organized. If she forgot something as a manual, and this you just use to check it. So I check it for her. Continuing with language arts, we have 2 read alouds. The main one is Aesop's Fables. I got this at Barnes & Noble's, and it's just really quick because we do enough reading with science and history, and for us, it gives us this oral fatigue, and we prefer to just read shorter things. And so, yeah, so I really like reading Aesop's Fables for 5th grade as a read aloud. And then the next thing we do as a read aloud, World of Gratitude, how people give thanks around the world. So this, since, it's something that's pretty short, it's like a nonfiction picture book, I figured we'd get through it pretty quick. So we take it at teeny tiny sections at a time. This is thanking people, and it's Friendship Day. So she'll just read this section out loud. And it just will stop when we get to the end. I really want my daughter to be polite and well-mannered to other people. And this is just one of those books that I found that helps enforce that. I really love, being polite to others and teaching my daughter to do that. And this is all about how to say thank you in different languages and about gratitude and things like that. So I really like books like this to add in. So the last thing for language arts I'm going to talk about is just her reading log. I kept it very simple this year. I just took a regular notebook and I just had blank stickers. They're not even staying in the best condition. And she just writes the month and the books, and that's it. And it's working out. And then the book she's currently reading as an independent read is Last Gate of the Emperor. And she's almost finished, but she's reading that. Now, after language arts, what we do, as I told you guys, we do a rotating schedule. So first I'm going to start with art, because she also does art every day. Now, we don't do art next in the schedule, as I showed you guys. We do the individual subjects, but I'm going to show you those guys individually last. So let me just go over art, because to me it makes sense for this video. But yeah, just remember, I don't think it matters that much, but we don't do art next. We do the individual subjects, but I think it makes sense in this video to show you guys. So for art, it's very minimalist this year. It's 365 days of art, and I got her this to go with it. And it's basically very simple. They have very simple projects. Draw a page of stars any style you like. Paint the ocean from your imagination. Fill the page with red things. So it's very simple, but I'm okay with that. My daughter does a lot of art in her free time. So I know that she's progressing independently with art on her own, and she also has a lot of different materials to explore. And what we do is we expand upon it, and you could do that too. So you take your favorite projects from it, and then I have her expand those in this book. Now, the only thing I will say is I wish I would have bought a larger pad. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and she has larger pads. But I was kind of experimenting by trying something smaller, and I think we both prefer larger for her. But yeah, but we already have it, so. These are just some of the projects. Like, this is a self-portrait I asked her to draw. I always have her do a self-portrait every year at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. So these were just some of the projects she did. Watercolor to kind of combine with that book. And I also have a few projects that she did on larger watercolor paper that I didn't pull for this video, but so yes, that's pretty much simplified what we do for art. At the beginning of the 5th grade year for science, we did just a general science book, which was the same version of this. Instead of everything you need to ace American history, is everything you need to ace science. And we didn't really enjoy it, I think because the illustrations, they're just not as engaging as something like what I'm about to show you guys, which is like a true nonfiction, like kids book. And it works for us for history. But for science, I felt like we just kind of wanted a little bit more illustration. So we switched to focus on chemistry. Now I'm calling this like a mini chemistry science like exposure. It's not like a chemistry lab that we're doing. It's mainly like I'm introducing to chemistry concepts. And this is our main book, Chemistry for Curious Kids. I really like it. We just read it together. And we do this on Mondays. So we read this book together on Mondays. And I supplement it with YouTube videos. So not every single, section I find a YouTube video on, but just certain sections I will go ahead and find like states of matter. I might Google, that YouTube like states of matter, and then have her watch like a kid's video on YouTube about that. And we just read a 2-page spread together is usually what we do. And some days we'll read more than 2 pages if I don't think I can find a YouTube video that we might be interested in, or she might be interested in. And then we mainly just do oral reading. And then, like I said, in combination with a video. And that's what we started doing. And I really like it. So that's what we're doing right now for science, this book. And they have 3 versions of this. They have biology, physics, and chemistry. So I'm thinking of possibly using the same exact book for 6th grade. Okay, so then on Tuesday, we focus on these books. Right now, we're focusing on this one. And then the second half of 5th grade, we're going to do this one. So right now we're doing Usborne Lift the Flat periodic table. And we actually, what her first project was to draw the periodic table. And then I'm going to have her like colored in and stuff like that. So she works on this on Tuesdays. And then we read the supplemental second books. So after she finishes this, I'm going to have to come up with another project. But that's what her project was so far. She's not finished it yet. She's just still like at the pencil stage. And so that was her first project, because I'm trying to do like very like minimalist projects to go with it, because I'm not a chemistry person. Like, I have like zero, I never even took chemistry in school. So I'm really just like, these books have to guide me. So I'm just like, I didn't want to overcomplicate things. I did buy her a chemistry kit. I showed that in my video where I think I talk about like a science update with chemistry. I'll link that video also. We didn't do the kit yet because I thought it'd be interesting to kind of like read about it more before she does the kit. But, so we're finishing this book. And then, like I said, we're going to just start this one, which this one's so pretty. I really love the cover. Oh, there's my cat Willow. I don't know if you can see him. Hi, Willow. Okay. So this one, we're just planning to read through it. And she'll just get to learn more about the elements. And that's pretty much science. Like, it's just real simple for us, and I like it that way. Yeah. So that's science. Now, history. So for history, this is our main spine. Everything you need to ace American history. And all we do is we read a chapter at a time together. And we answer the questions together at the end. So at the end of each chapter, it has check your knowledge. So we answer these questions like, well, read the question out loud, and she answers it, or I answer it. Well, not I answer. If she doesn't know it, I'll guess. But then we check it, and that's it. But I'll show you guys what we started doing. So when we got to the part about like the American Revolution, before the American Revolution, we stopped. So like we stopped, and then we started this book. So we spent weeks reading this book, King George, What Was His Problem? The American Revolution. And like she really likes the way this author writes. It's like conversational. The way he writes, it's like very conversational. It's not dry, but I just felt like we both just felt like it was like so detailed, and we were taking forever to get through it. And we both started to kind of lose interest in the book. And it felt like we just wanted to just go back to this. We discussed it, and we just went back to this because like we're only like a fourth way through. I don't know at what point we'll get to stop in history, but that's okay. So now we're back to this. I'm just selling this back to Half Price Books. I literally bought 3 of these. I bought like all of his books, and we're definitely not going to do To His Miserable Presidents because I feel like it's going to be the same thing about, the same issue. It's just like a lot of details about one subject, and I feel like we kind of would rather just kind of gather the information and then watch videos on it or just move on. That's another thing. Like we will be watching videos on stuff like this. With history, I find it harder sometimes because the videos are longer and it just depends on the subject. But we haven't really like got there yet because we've been doing this for so long. So I plan to start doing the same thing with history, just kind of supplementing more with videos. And then as she gets older and older, more documentaries and things like that. But this is working out good. Like we're learning stuff. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't think anything I have yet in my mind yet in my experience of homeschooling to ever find anything for me that's like perfect. I don't know if that even exists, but this is good for us. And these are the books I got as supplemental to go with this. I scratched a lot of them, but these are the ones I'm left with. So, Words That Built a Nation, Voices of Democracy That Shaped America's History, like speeches, and then D.K. Smithsonian, The Presidents. So when we get to the point where we have the first American president, we'll probably also stop, take a little pause after we finish the chapter, and read about the presidents one by one as we get to them in that book, which we haven't yet. We're just about to get to the American Revolution. So then the third one was We the People, the United States Constitution Explored and Explained. This book we definitely will not be reading cover to cover, but we definitely will go over some of the amendments and things like that. Okay, and these are the independent readers that remained. I did buy quite a few of these at the beginning of the year, and these are the only 4 that I decided to have her read. I'm going to rotate these in with her independent reads. This is Who is Harriet Tubman, The Story of Benjamin Franklin, What is the Declaration of Independence, and Who is Frederick Douglass. So yeah, like we've already started talking about Benjamin Franklin, and so like I feel like if we have the book where we're discussing a person, I'll just pull that book, and I'm going to have her read it in place of whatever independent read. Like when she finishes her next independent read, I'm probably going to have her start one of these. So yeah, so it will kind of like connect, but it won't like be the same exact timeline, but that's okay. I just want her to start these once we mention the person. We do history first, and then we do geography on the same day. So what we do for geography mainly is these 2 books. This is the Evan Moore, North America, the 7 Continents, and the North American Maps for Curious Minds. Now, this book is very simple. It's mainly like infographics, and it's just, I like that. I like the simplicity of it. All we do is do a 2-page spread on our little book stand, and we read it together. Like mainly like view it. Usually it's like a paragraph, and it might have something like, to read in regards to it. Sometimes it's only 1 page. So we read this together, and she's really learning a lot about North America. I really like it. And then, so it's real simple spine. Like, all these different, like, simple things about all the different countries. Then we do this after. It's like Evan Moore, and she does like a 2-page spread, and then I check it because it usually goes together. Like these two went together, so I just have her do both of them the same day so she doesn't forget the information. Yeah. On the second day, I brought this book out. If you've been following me, you've seen this book a lot. This is The 50 States by Wide-Eyed. Now, we did a whole year, literally, mainly just using this book. But, you have to refresh information, and I don't need my daughter to memorize every state capital or anything like that. But I like using it as a refresher. So on the second day, we don't pull out those other 2 books. We do this. We just start at the beginning. Like, we're literally now just on Colorado because I just got this idea like a few weeks ago. I was like, why don't we do something different on the second day? Because I felt like doing those 2 books I just showed you guys was like redundant because you could pretty much get it done in one day. So we just like get out this book. Now we don't read all of this because we already did that past years. We pretty much just go over the key facts. And we look at the state, like where it is. It like shows you up here, like what part of the U.S. is it in. Because she lives in the U.S. So, I still want her to learn a lot about, the area she lives in and stuff like that. So it's like, even though, and then like next year I would plan on doing like a different continent. But yeah, since we already had this book, we're really focusing a little bit more on like the largest cities, the capital, and like the location of the state versus last time we kind of did a little bit more in depth about each state. So another unit that I decided to do for 5th grade was emotional intelligence. Now in the beginning, I was doing this together with my daughter, but then I realized that because this book is made for her to read, for herself, I had her start doing this on Fridays. So I call it her emotional intelligence. I did a whole video on this, I believe. But yeah, so it's basically just about all these different topics. Like the first chapter is like about parents. So I thought it'd be better if like she read it on her own. And so she does this on Fridays, and then she does this Heart and Minds. Does the Evan Moore Heart and Mind activities for today's kids. And this isn't something I really like check. I just kind of review it to make sure she's keeping up with it. But it's just kind of different things about your emotions. Sorry, that's my cat. He just has to try to get in every single one of our cabinets. I almost feel like I need those magnetic child locks. And he digs in all of our cabinets, and that's what he's doing. I apologize. This is just like a fun little thing where she can learn things about herself and, body language, personal space, coping skills, I love it. I really do. I really like it. Okay, so that's emotional intelligence. And these she doesn't do in any order on Fridays, and for STEAM, this is the only architectural workbook that we're left with. She didn't like the other ones. I showed them in a previous video of books I was getting rid of, I think our unhaul. But yeah, so this one has a little bit more complicated projects, but some of the stuff we just don't have materials to do. But she said she still wanted to try, but she's done some of the projects. And she still wants to be an architect. So yeah, so she does this. Now we're in STEAM. STEAM, she rotates with emotional intelligence. And this is also, I put this book in STEAM. It's Mammoth Science by David Macaulay. I think that's how you say his name. So this, originally I had it part of our science curriculum. But then now that we're doing chemistry, it didn't match. So I just have her reading this. like I tell her to spend about 20 minutes on STEAM. So then I had her tell her she could just kind of read through it on her own during STEAM. And that's what she's doing. She rotates this, you know, with all the other things. Like one day she might do this, one day she might read Mammoth Science, one day she does a logic puzzle. I pretty much, since we removed some of the other things from her STEAM because she didn't really enjoy them, we got all of her logic puzzles that she's been having over the years, and we put them all in her STEAM area. This one's like dog crimes. This one's, you know, it's like, I forgot what it's called. It's like a maze thing, labyrinth, or so she has all, and then she has some other ones, but they don't have the packaging, so they're just kind of in canvas bags. But she has like a bunch of these from like Think Fun, Smart Games, and she rotates doing these. So logic is great. You know, it's like, I like her doing logic, so. Okay. Next is her comic book. Now, she does this every Friday. I just have her work on it a little bit, and then when she's finished it, she's going to go back and add color. But right now, she's just doing the drawing stage. And she has this fantasy world that she made up, and she wanted to make a book about it. And so this is like her, I guess you call it like a rough draft of like another longer book that she wants to make with the same characters. And so I told her it'd be nice for her to go ahead and do it for this project, where she's doing language arts and then drawing. And by the end of the 5th grade year, it will be complete, and she'll get to make her own cover. So yeah, so that also, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I always leave something out, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And if there's things like you guys remember seeing in that first video, if you watched it, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching this video also, especially at this point. But yeah, if you see some things that are missing, it's because they just weren't a good fit for us. But yeah, so like I said, click on that 5th grade curriculum video if you guys want or interested in these things. If not, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love for you to like. It really helps support my channel. Comment. Just watching my videos enough. Thanks so much. Have a great day or night. Bye.